by the team and not recognition. Spoke by my granny, she told me prepare for the people that's trying to red division. I showed her anything possible, how I get W's, it's like a repetition. I'm trying to be humble, cause there's been some times when my power was diminished. Felt like I was finished, my life was diminished and faded my vision. No time for revision, if I didn't finish, and first I won't finish. I need me the chicken, so I live in kitchens. I'm trying to get it, I'm trying to get it. The life I envision is brighter the distance, so my time I'm spending refining the image. Picture perfect how I'm living, picture perfect on the image. I gotta work until that I ain't living. I'm gonna climb up until Mount Olympus. I'm gonna climb up until...
Yo, what is going on YouTube? My name is Billy Davis. If you guys are new here, definitely be sure to like this video and also be sure to subscribe to the channel. Guys, today I have a very, very special guest, and he's young. He's very young and he's very talented. He goes by Junior Demigod. Junior here is 18 years old and has just kind of burst onto the hip-hop scene, especially locally here in Michigan. And I'm super excited to finally sit down and be able to talk to him. This is something that we've had in the works for quite some time. So this one's going to be special. And just right off rip, my man Junior, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Good, good. So you've seen some of the interviews.
I've seen them all.
And you know a little bit how this goes. So
yep.
I'm going to open up and ask you the first question that I ask everybody. And that first question is, who is Junior Demigod? The floor is yours.
So, honestly, I have no separation from like who I am as a person to the rapper, you know? Mm-hmm. For me, it's just the name is one thing, and for the name I got it from my dad. I'm a junior to his exact name, and I don't know if he wants me to be leaking it, but he used to be in a little rap duo when he was like, I want to say 14, 15.
Okay.
They were called the Demigods.
That's
so,
tough.
me being a junior, I took
the Demigod play.
Junior the Demigod.
That's so fire, dude.
Yeah.
But, okay, so we got your name.
Yep.
I want to talk about who you are as a person, and because obviously we'll get into the music stuff here down the line, because obviously that's something that we'll talk about.
Right.
But who is Junior the person? You know, that's who I really want to know about here. How would you describe yourself to people?
I mean, I feel like creative.
Okay.
Yeah, very creative. Mm-hmm. I feel like I have an imagination that is hard to dwindle. And yeah. If I think of something, I got to do it right then and there. I can't really like... I had a song I was working on the other day. Okay. And I was getting so hyped while I was writing it. I produced the beat. I was ready. And I didn't have a microphone. I didn't have nowhere to record it. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, okay, bet. I'm gonna finish writing it tomorrow. And I'm going to go to the studio. I'm going to get it all done. I woke up and I was like, oh, how did I do this? What was the energy behind this?
So what that's called is a passionate creative.
Yeah.
You're very passionate about the work you do, and that's honestly beautiful. And I feel like every artist out there should feel this exact way. Because the thing is you couldn't recreate that energy the next day, you said, correct?
I agree, yeah.
That energy wasn't there. But the thing is the energy never actually left. The energy was always there. What happened is the timing got misplaced.
Yeah.
You weren't able to time it correctly. That song is still probably just as beautiful as it was that day. The following day, it just didn't seem like that because you weren't able to rekindle that energy from the day before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I love that because I've had that numerous times myself where I'd called Devin over here. I'd called Devin numerous times. And I've talked about it in the Nick interview that we did. I told him, I'd call him. I'd be like, yo, like, this is crazy. Like, I'm loving what I'm doing. And then the next day, it just gone. You know what I mean? And then I think you and I have talked, but you talked about how, like, you don't have access to the studio at your house.
Right.
And that's something that you want to do eventually. That can be a dwindle in what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So if I can give you any quick advice, it is go get a home studio. Listen to the people that are coming to you and giving you that advice. You know what I'm saying? Because that is super important. Having a home studio is going to be one of the biggest things for you up-and-coming artists, and I really want to make that clear. Now, you are only 18, so you have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
But you have done some really, really cool things. And I want to ask, what got you into music? What put you in the place that we're at today?
So my introduction into rap, hip hop music, I remember the story like it was yesterday. This was when I was a lot younger.
Okay. A lot younger is crazy.
It was probably like, I'm trying to think, like 2013, 2012, around there. Whenever the Marshall Mathers LP2 dropped, I remember I was in a Jets parking lot across the Dave's supermarket on Ryan Road.
Okay. Yep. Know where that's at. Shout out Warren.
Yeah. But yeah, I was in the parking lot. My dad went in to grab the pizza. He left his phone on the center console in his car. He had his YouTube playlist pulled up, and I pressed play on it, and it was Bad Meets Evil Fastlane. And that was my...
Is that the one with Royce?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Royce and M.
Yeah.
That was my introduction into rap. Like, that was almost like I gained consciousness in that very moment.
So being introduced to it, you were probably, you know, almost flabbergasted by what you were hearing, because that song in particular, I want to say that's the one where he talks about sticking his penis in Nicki Minaj's...
See my penis in Uranus!
Yeah, that one. Which is crazy, because that was such a time for Eminem, because at that time, you know, he had gotten sober.
Yep.
He had just done Relapse, and he had done Recovery right after that. And then came Marshall Mathers, the LP, the second one.
Yeah.
I mean, I can recall the first one. You know what I'm saying? So hearing somebody's story start at the second one is crazy. So if anybody's ever wondering, that is the story behind Eminem. If you're wondering how good he is, even years down the line after what people say is his greatest work in the early 90s, or the later 90s going into the early 2000s, that was how I always defined Eminem, versus somebody like Junior here, who he's defining Eminem from a standpoint of, you know, 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That just means his work has traveled on. But
Oh, definitely.
so you've been introduced to Eminem,
Yep.
and that was always one of your big idols, I'm taking.
Oh, yeah.
And
definitely.
I think it speaks for itself in the music, and I
Yeah.
think you actually, out of most people, you're able to structure bars really well.
I appreciate that.
In one of the ciphers, I can't remember what you said, but you played off like 3 words, and I can't remember the 3 words off the top of my head. But how impressed I was off the play of the words, where I was like, yo, like, I don't know anybody, because I know I couldn't. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't think of anybody who could necessarily play off those words and play them like that. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but it was...
You might be thinking... Are you thinking of the one I performed at the Rebel Fest?
Maybe.
On that one, I might as well just rap the full beginning. I said, I just tapped in, how the fuck am I gonna tap out? What I look like quitting, I'd rather black out than to be some bitch hitting the mat now. Put me on the track, it gonna be a man down. Underdog taking the title, never back down. Underdog, I ain't talking about swinging, but I got paws that don't knock every one of your teeth, and you talking sweet shit like mouth rot. Y'all weak bitchin' now, nah. One of y'all gonna be left, no more southpaws.
Can we get a little clap?
That
was we got our first little live session here today,
I mean,
folks.
To me, that's one of my best schemes, just because, like, that whole... I love breaking down my own bars, just because, like, I feel like that was more of one of my complex ones. So, like, I like when my shit goes over people's heads, but at the same time, it's like, you got to dumb it down for the main audience.
Right, exactly. And then the people who know it will know it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So... like, on that one, that Underdog, I ain't talking about swinging, that's like, you know, that goes back to the never back down, the fighting movies and shit. But Underdog is a type of swinging move where you go under the guy swinging.
Yep.
And then talking sweet shit like mouth rot, knock all your teeth in, like mouth rot, all that. Then,
Yo, that shit didn't even make sense in my head at first until he broke it down for me.
And then none of y'all are gonna be left, no more southpaws.
Because
it goes back to the box.
Yes. That's a bar. That's a bar.
And then next one I said, I bet that bar went over your head, bench press.
Tough. But dude, you've been doing some things with the Cypher Society.
Yep.
That's one big thing. And I want to get your thoughts on, number one, I want to start maybe at the relationship with Muncie, who you guys don't and have not been introduced to Muncie yet, but we will be bringing Muncie on this show. So Muncie will be here, and we will be introducing Muncie to the world here soon. But right now, Muncie is he's the creator of the Cypher Society.
Yeah, pioneer.
I want to ask your thoughts and the relationship that you guys have built.
Man, so for the Cyphers, I I guess I really should start at the beginning, how I met everyone. I was, the first person that I met from the Cyphers is Green Mane. And I met Green Mane through Instagram. I seen him promoting his music. And I said, hey, this is dope. We should do a track sometime. And we started talking through that. I started seeing he was doing open mics. And with us both being from Michigan, I said, hey, if you got like any free shows or stuff like that, hit me up. And if you need openers, you know. And through building that relationship, going up to Pontiac, this place called the Alley Cat Cafe was where I did my first show, first open mics. That was where I met OZ100, Smalls, Black Concept, Ozzy Alfakna, Walls Don't Fall. Yeah, all those guys. Through following OZ, however, was where I started seeing him do the ciphers. And at first, when I first tapped in, they were doing it to where like they were rapping in front of a camera. The phone. They didn't have a camera back then. It was just an iPhone set up on a tripod, and they were rapping inside of the booth. So they would take that, layer the audio over the video. But yeah, I've been tapped in from the very beginning, and it just took a while of getting the schedule coordinated, whether I liked the beat or I didn't like the beat, whether I could make it out there. But for Muncie, I ended up meeting him at this rapper Astray. He held a competition in Saginaw. And I went out there, performed, and Muncie was there. Ozzy, Joey Keys, I think OZ might have been there as well. I'm not sure. But yeah, no, all those guys pulled up. Me and Joey hit it off very well. It was a great introduction to Muncie. And from then on, it's just been like you saw in the most recent one, me and Muncie went back to back. Like that is just...
I texted you about that one.
I'm so grateful for the friendship, the bonds, like everyone that I've met. And another thing I want to touch on, before I was doing the ciphers, it took me 9 months to write a song.
Really?
And now I can write verses in 30 minutes. On chapter 24, I wasn't supposed to be on that one. They peer pressured me into doing it at the studio.
Did they?
I went outside and sat in Gross's car and wrote a quick little 16 and then went in there and spat it.
Can I just say one thing about you, dude, is your energy radiates. I hear you talking about your friends, and you talk about them in such a cool light. I love that, man. That's huge. So,
man.
Dude, you have a great head on your shoulders, man. I love hearing it. It brings a smile to my face. just because we need this. You know, in music, and not just in the local scene, but I think musically in general, we need this.
Oh yeah.
We need people who are going to be positive, and they're going to love what they're doing, regardless of the hate, regardless of the love. You're just going to smile regardless, because at the end of the day, this is a journey, and you're on this journey. And this is another thing that I want to dive into is the views that you've garnished.
Yeah.
Because through doing the Cypher Society, you personally have garnered millions.
Yeah.
Now, we can go for looks, we can go for talent, it doesn't matter. But I think regardless, the talent speaks for itself.
Thank you.
That it is respectable enough, because one thing that I would describe is I think you have a sound that everybody can listen to.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And when I say everybody, I mean people from past hip-hop generations to the current. Because there are still regular hip-hop lovers out there. Right. And we got to hear a little bit of you just spit here. You know what I'm saying? I want to ask, how is it gaining those views, and how has that been for you?
I mean, so the view count, when I look at it, I see 1 million. It's at, I believe, 1.6 million on TikTok, and then on Facebook, it's 1.1 mil. But when I look at those numbers, it really doesn't mean that much to me.
Humble.
At the end of the day, it's literally just a number on a screen. What gets to me, honestly, was on TikTok. It had me tearing up. You know how you can use sounds and stuff? Yeah. People were using that audio from my video to make their own videos from it. Yeah. I had like 56 on there. There's probably more by now. Like it was beautiful to see.
Can I? Of course. I'm going to pause you for a second. One thing I'm going to say to you is, make sure that you keep this. And when I say keep this, I don't mean like keep going. I mean keep the energy that you have. You just said it, and I think you just said it best. The number is just a screen on a computer, or it's just a screen on a phone. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And as long as you can keep that, and from the sounds of it, you have a very good support group around you that understand music and, you know, things of that nature. Make sure you're keeping that energy all the time going through this, because one thing, and I'll speak for myself that it happened, I let views deem what was going to happen with my music career.
Right.
And it destroyed me. But the moment that you let that out and you forget about that and you just have fun with it, you are going to create the best work of all time. And I mean that hands down. So make sure that you keep that, because you're right. They are just that. They're just numbers on a screen. So as much as you're saying that about yourself, you're helping people, and somebody like me needed to hear that. You know what I mean? Because these views, they do not matter. The follower count does not matter. Kid, you're talented. And you have a lot of talent. And it goes to show who you are as a person. So if you ask me who Junior Demigod is, it sounds like this is Junior Demigod. Humble, respectable, very down to earth. That's who I take as Junior Demigod.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah. To get back to that though, I don't know if you wanted to touch on this.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
The comments on both Facebook and TikTok.
Yes.
TikTok, I've garnered mostly positivity. You know, you get
TikTok is actually really positive at all times.
Oh yeah.
It's when you dig into Meta, Facebook and Instagram, where things get a little fishy.
Oh my god, dude. The Facebook comments, they're like, I told you off the air, it was like, I got death threats like, hey, come to Chicago, we don't let this shit slide, you wanna be gangster. And I'm like, when did I ever? wait.
Hey, Chicago, slow down. It's gonna be alright, I promise.
Like, I don't even...
Fuck the Bears too, by the way.
I think, but yeah, it's just, I was called a race traitor, like, white people shouldn't be making this kind of music, and it was just stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I will never understand that.
How do those comments make you feel?
I mean, you know, lately I've just been reading them and seeing, like, you give me something to respond back on?
Yeah.
Because, like, I understand the more comments that there are, 3 words or more, that will decide, like, if the algorithm pushes it to more people. So I understand, like, if I go on there and reply to each comment, whether good or bad, that's gonna
it's gonna boost the algorithm.
Exactly. So it was actually Muncie helped me figure that out.
The algorithm loves comments.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, any positive feedback that you give the algorithm, something I learned, I don't know if it was you that told me this, but the Facebook reactions.
Yes.
Was it you that told me this?
Maybe.
It was like, if you do like a sad face or angry face on Facebook, it'll like diminish the viewership on that post. Like, depending on how you react to it determines how many people see it.
Right. Now, I will tell you, the main place where I always tell people to post is YouTube and TikTok. Because Facebook and Instagram, they structure it a certain way to where you're only making a certain amount of money.
Right.
So the most important places, I think, in the music industry are TikTok and YouTube.
Okay.
Just strictly off the fact YouTube Shorts, TikTok obviously being a place for short form content, those are going to be the 2 most important because they pay the most, and that's where you're going to get your most engagement.
Right.
Because it's where everybody scrolls. You know what I mean? Everybody's on YouTube. Everybody's on TikTok. Facebook, it's going to be, all respect to my old heads, but all the old heads. And it's going to be them who are there, you know, and yes, they engage. They do engage very well.
They do.
Yes. They definitely always have something to say. But those are the ones that are you have to ask yourself, like, who do I want as a fan?
Right.
Where do I lay as there's just so many questions. But kind of segueing away from that, I want to ask you another question. I want to ask about your personal music. And I want to ask about you know, how has it been for you trying to create your own personal music while doing these ciphers? Because obviously you've done amazing work with the ciphers. Do you think that it's maybe taken away from your personal music a little bit?
I do think that to a degree. I think that a lot of my time is focused on the ciphers rather than my personal music.
Yeah.
But it also feels like I'm committed to the ciphers and I don't want to pick one or the other. I would like
you
to
should never have to.
Right.
Yeah.
I would love to have a great balance, but I want to do my personal music. And that's another thing. Like, if you look at my first song, and the only reason why it's still on there is because I want, like, when I have a larger fan base, I want them to be able to go back and see, like, okay, he started from this and now he's doing that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just the growth from my personal music through the ciphers, from my chapter 10, which was the first one I got on, all the way up to, I think where 28 just got released.
Yep.
Chapter 28, like, just the growth from all that is just...
You definitely see your growth.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Your growth shows. You just put out a song, it's called Ups and Downs.
Yep.
And I want to talk about it a little bit. I have a reaction coming out to it soon.
Let's go.
I want to ask, how was that song for you, writing that? Because it was a very positive record.
I appreciate it.
That's what I took from it. I think you said something in the song. Something along the lines of, like, the wins are the only things that are shown and the losses never are. It was in that.
Yeah.
That, to me, felt like, yes, we don't glorify the losses maybe the way that we should.
Right.
And only the wins are the most important thing in people's lives. So one thing I'll say to you, just hearing you spit it and stuff like that, is be happy for the losses.
Yeah.
Because the losses are going to make those wins that much more special.
Of course.
And they mean so much more later down the line. So take those losses and look at them. Okay, I took an L here. You wear it on the shoulder. It is what it is. Later down the line, there's going to be wins. There's going to be victories. But that song, Ups and Downs, I was a really big fan of.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I love the energy that you vibrate. And just overall, I think immensely. And I talk a lot about artists, and I speak with a lot of artists and stuff like that. But ultimately, like, if I see somebody with much potential and, like, a trajectory of where I see somebody down the line, it's you. I see you.
I appreciate that, man.
Absolutely, dude. I see you doing something great in this. Whether that be for your personal music, whether it be with the ciphers, you have talent, you're going far, and I'm proud of you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. And just, I'm so excited to see you grow. But overall, we talked about all that. Your first performance was actually here at the Rebel Music Fest with us.
Yeah, that was my first, like, big audience. It was an insane night. I'm so happy I was chosen to be one of the artists to perform. I was rewatching the video, and I will say that I got pretty winded after my first two songs. Yeah. But after hearing that crowd and Scheme, shout out Scheme.
Shout out Scheme, man.
He gave me one of the best intros.
Yeah.
And I think him bringing up the whole crowd, I had people coming up to me afterwards like, hey, you were the first one to get me out of my seat and engage with the artist. But I got to give shout out to Scheme, because I feel like if he didn't say, like, hey, I need everyone to come up to the front, and this is my boy Junior, you know, he's only 18 years old, and I'm so happy he did that, because I think if he hadn't, then it would have been a much different crowd reaction. I would have had to put more work in. But with him doing that, it just came more natural. And hell, I got out there and I was screaming my lyrics for the first song.
Good, man. Good, that's how it should be.
Oh yeah, it was. I may not, like, if we had a conversation that night, I can't tell you what was said, but I can remember the energy that I felt. Like, that's always gonna stick with me.
Man. That's
of course.
Dude, we had you on the Rebel Music Fest. We've heard about what you've done. One thing I want to say, there's another little piece that I've noticed throughout this, and I was going to wait to say it after we got off camera, but I feel like I have to say it here. Even just through this interview and the way you've inducted yourself and everything like that, you've looked at the camera. You've indulged that behind that camera there is an audience.
Oh yeah.
There is somebody watching you. That is huge. If you can look directly at this camera and know that, hey, it looks like a camera here, but behind it there's an audience.
Yeah.
That's gonna push you bounds and lengths ahead. You get it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I know there's such a thing as parasocial relationships, but like, I don't know. I would like to engage with my fan base. Like, I know that if a person likes me, they're gonna take time out of their day and they're gonna go listen to my song, and it's just like, I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Like, they're people, you know.
They are. They absolutely are.
I'm a person. I like the music I like, and for someone to like the music that I make, that's special.
It is. It's special,
I appreciate it.
So I want to ask this one final question, and this one is the most important question in my eyes.
Yeah.
Where do you see Junior Demigod 5 years from now? And 5 years from now is 23.
You said 23?
You'd be 23.
Oh, I'm
years.
23. Okay.
No. So that's insane to me because I'm 26 doing this. So 5 years for me is 31. 5 years for you is 23.
Whew.
So you're...
No, I would be 21. Oh, no, you said 5 years.
Yeah.
I thought you said 3. My bad.
No.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. At first, I can legally drink.
Yeah, you'll be able to legally drink, that's for sure.
I got to stick to the Sprite.
Yeah.
No,
The McDonald's Sprite.
Exactly. It's got the kick of vodka, so don't ask how I know. Anyway, sorry, Ma. No, man, you know, I've been promoting this album, The Climb Up, for a very long time, and before The Climb Up, there was countless ideas. Like, I always, before I was taking my music very serious as I am right now, I would go on like this website called Canva, and I would make all my cover art and all that on there. I would just sketch.
We've all done it. We've all done it.
I would just write like a concept track list for whatever vibe I was feeling. You know, I don't want to say any names in case they do come to light later on in my career.
Okay.
But The Climb Up right now is definitely the one I'm working on, and I think I want it to be a concept album, and it's going to be very symbolic to, you know, with Demigod, that's like Greek mythology, Mount Olympus, the climb up towards Mount Olympus. Olympus.
I'm so big into Greek mythology. That's a whole different conversation, but go ahead.
Episode 2?
Come on, man, go ahead.
No, yeah, Mount Olympus to me is a metaphor to making it in the industry. Like, Mount Olympus would be the top where, you know, you got the likes of the M's, the Coles, the Kendricks, the Waynes.
The greats.
Exactly. So my album consists of, like, from when I did Nobody's Close to Me to Ups and Downs to just, like, almost documenting my process to Mount Olympus. And I wanted to tell that story of me until I reached Mount Olympus. I think that's what The Climb Up entails, and I think that's what the next 5 years are going to entail.
Climb up. It's a perfect metaphor. So, Junior, we've sat here. We've had a great conversation, man. I want to say thank you for coming on here. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for sharing your wonderful energy with us, because it is absolutely outstanding. And here at the Rebel Music Fest, here with me, Billy, here with Devin, Jolo, Anthony, Lauren, all of us, all we want is great things for you.
I appreciate it.
And we are so excited to see where you go. We really are. My man, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. Guys, my name is Billy Davis. If you guys are new here, definitely be sure to like this video and also be sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to give a big shout out to Beard for the sunglasses. Beard, I'm wearing your sunglasses. Also,
I'm wearing Junior The Demigod's glasses.
Junior Demigod's glasses.
Shout out, Junior.
It is Lions Sunday. It is Lions Sunday.
Hell yeah.
We play 7:30 tonight. I want to say it here, live and in charge. He is our former quarterback. Fuck Matt Stafford. Tonight it is fuck you, and we're going to whoop your ass again.
Exactly.
That is all I got. I'll be talking to you guys later. Peace.
Peace.